Yeah, we definitely got to get to thinking about, what we're doing with our money and who we're entrusting it to.
Welcome to the We Got Problems podcast with co-hosts Curtis G. Martin, Rhonda L. Brown, and Caliph Johnson Sr., the one and only podcast where solutions get discussed to our community's everyday troubles. Each week, you will hear mind-blowing conversations and actionable tips and strategies that you can implement in your daily life to become more effective. We got problems and we got solutions.
All right, you guys, welcome to the show. This is We Got Problems, the podcast where we discuss solutions. I'm Curtis G. Martin. I'm here with my co-host, Rhonda L. Brown.
Hey, everybody.
My other co-host, Caliph Johnson Sr.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
And the third out the crew, co-host, Lashika Phillips.
Hey.
Hey, you guys. So a bank just failed, right? Like, I guess the economic meltdown or some shit.
Wait, not a bank.
Like yeah. The bank out of money. Hey, so, you know, I just wanted us to talk about that, right? Like, I'm not an expert in banking, and I'm not sure what y'all knowledge is on banking, but we just gonna talk about it from as normal consumers, as normal people. What do you guys think of the bank failing and possibly running out of money, and possibly our personal bank might be next?
It's scary.
What do you mean scary? Why?
I mean, because I think that from a young age, we're told that's the safe place to put your money. You put your money in a bank. You know, you have direct deposit. It's direct deposit to a bank. You know, when you are ready to get a loan for, mortgage for your house, you go do that through a bank. And so for a structure that we have come to rely on, come to depend on, for that to fail is scary, because if we can't depend on the bank, then what can we trust, right? In God we trust. That's what they said. We trust in God. They didn't say nothing about the bank. You know what I
mean? So on that piece of paper, they put in God we trust, so we can believe in that paper.
Right. I'm just trusting in God. I didn't say nothing about the Silicon Valley Bank, right? But I think that because I read an article that all these companies have hundreds of millions of dollars in this bank, but the insurance, they're only covered up to $250,000.
Now I always heard that. Now, is that just for normal people in our banks, or is that for all banks? Where, because these billionaires got to have some type of way that they protecting all these millions. Ain't no way me knowing this that I'm putting 20 million in a bank, right, and they're only gonna put that. Mean I'm gonna have like 50 accounts.
Right.
At different banks, right? Like, because I heard also that it's only $250 for the one bank, not for each account at that bank.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's
you're right. There's something else at play here.
It should be, but they calling it a bank run. I don't know if you guys heard of a bank run. Bank run is when you get scared about the money, right? Like, we all scared now. Come Monday, it's going to be another bank, because come Monday, after everybody done heard about this, social media done hit around the shade room and baller alert and let everybody know that the banks are out of money. Come Monday, everybody going to the bank to snatch their money out. And then that means the bank runs out of money again. The next bank, and then the next bank. Because Wells Fargo, they said everybody that was direct deposits was missing out of Wells Fargo. So, it's you're right. It's getting scary. Trash. What are you thinking, man?
Well, we learned a long time ago, become your own bank. Learn how to acquire tangible assets. Put your money in things that you can physically go touch, instead of putting it into a system that was not designed for us and it's not working for us. That we were, like Lashika said, we were taught at a young age to go get $1 and put it in the bank and it's supposed to grow. That's not how it's working right now. You put your money in the bank and the big boys is going to shoot dice with it on Wall Street. And
He said
that's been
shoot
the
dice.
practice. That it's a gamble every time they put your money in one of these funds or betting on these options, and that's what they have brokers for, to go do that for them professionally. So when they're doing that with your money and it doesn't come back the way it's supposed to, because the market is in the tank right now, the stock market is bad right now. If you see how it's been tanking out all last year, and it started the year off a little bit better, trying to give you a little bit of false security, but the last 2 months have been terrible on the market. They've just constantly been spiraling out of control, and some of these bigger companies are buying back shares. There's all kind of stuff going on with financials today, and tomorrow is not going to be any better with the collapse of this bank. So cryptocurrency is playing a part. Silicon Valley is playing a part in it. These are the companies that were startup companies. This bank was only in existence since 1983. So for it to have acquired the amount of revenue that it had acquired and what it was working with, and for them to say we closing our doors, some of these really, really big companies were banking there.
Okay,
really
check
big
this out
companies.
though. What about this part of it? All of those companies, we were talking about it earlier, Lashika. You said Roblox was one.
Roku.
It was several names on that list, right?
Yeah.
All of these are names that I've been hearing to invest in, because these are the companies that's finna take over, right? Something else in play here. Somebody's driving that money down over there. Somebody caused the bank run over there, to me, right? You know, damn, they ain't gonna be after me for this shit, is they? Like you know how when somebody owns something and then they're like, how you know?
They end up missing.
Yeah. So
I just read something about Kobe the other day, what he was on before his plane crashed 3 days.
That's a whole nother thing. But see, Microsoft was one of them that was supposed to be one of these companies. Facebook, all these companies, along with all the ones on that list. Well, all of a sudden, where their money at, they go down. And I guarantee you, some of them companies finna swoop up and buy those companies or invest in those companies or those shares. So where I don't want to fall asleep at is getting so scared that I got to go grab this cash out of the bank and then hold on to it. Because somewhere my grandmother, man, you know, man, I ain't so removed from it. My grandmother, she didn't trust banks in like in the 70s. You know, she had a shoebox.
Yeah.
No. I had the shoebox. She had a Bible cut out.
See? Yes.
I had the shoebox. She had a Bible cut out, and she used to hide it in there. One thing, you wasn't going to even touch that Bible or a book. You wasn't going to touch a book, then the Bible, you wasn't touching it, right? So she kept hers in there.
Yeah.
Right. So somewhere she was tricked into putting it in the bank. And then, Trash, you mentioned that we should possibly be buying gold. They don't even sell us gold no more. Like, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something, and then I'm a yield. I was looking into gold, right? I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do when I get these gold? I got ounces of gold, right? Like, I ain't gonna have a big ass bunch of blocks, right? I'm gonna have some ounces. I ain't giving you an ounce for no food. So you know what I'm talking about? When you come through with some cabbage, I'm like, shit, I'm hungry, man. Go and take this ounce. Like, no, you're gonna owe me, dude, right? So what I was looking at,
silver.
I was looking at, no, not even silver. You still gotta have a weighted system, right? So I looked at buying just grams, right, of gold, and then now I can like, here, man, let me get that whole thing right there for this gram, right? Or half a gram. You know what I'm talking about? We gotta have a weighted system. And then I stumbled across something called grains, gold grains. It's not dust, but it's like BBs. Y'all remember BBs?
Yeah.
They the size of BBs, but they gold. All right, you got some greens and shit, my man. Here you go, a BB. You know what I'm talking about? This is about $30 right here.
Okay.
Right. We gotta have some type of system to fight what's finna happen, man. Like I don't know. I'm definitely finna go buy me some land like within the next couple of weeks, but I don't know, you guys. Where is this going?
Yeah,
going to what you just mentioned. Oh, go ahead, Rhonda. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Mine was on a different. It wasn't a different subject, but I don't want to interrupt your
Rhonda said, "I'm on a whole nother subject."
I think, but to answer your question, Curtis, your question was basically where are we headed, right?
Yeah.
And I think we are headed to a time where it's going to be more bartering than before, right? But then if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it just a couple of weeks ago there was a country where people were just throwing money out the windows because their currency had plummeted, like it's no good. Do y'all remember
I
that?
remember a year ago, Venezuela, I think it was for sure.
Okay,
I definitely remember them.
Maybe that's something. Maybe it was fresh in my mind. I read an article recently about that. But can you imagine that happening to the U.S.? I mean, is that where we headed? Is that where you were getting
I
at?
can see it. So look, so say if we all go run and get all this money, so we cause the collapse. So they're gonna say F us because we caused the collapse, and then they're gonna say, okay, everybody that had their money in the bank, that other money is no good. It's counterfeited. So everybody money on paper, we're gonna move that to digital currency.
Wow.
So we could be stuck either way. Like it's a way for them to get us either way. Mm-hmm. Like I've been really thinking hard about this to where I just honestly what I need is in the middle of nowhere, 20, 30 acres where I can be on the back end of them acres and have some pistols and some binoculars and say, y'all keep the fuck out of here. Right? Yep. Like
got your money buried in the backyard.
Yeah. Got my gold buried. Got that old school map where if the tree get cut down, we ain't gonna never find it. Right? Because it's 10 yards to the left. You know what I mean? Once you get next to the mountain, it's a brick right there. You move any of that, we ain't gonna find
it. Yeah.
They're actually talking about the auctioning off the bank. I think the bids were supposed to be in at 2:00 today, 2 Eastern today. Wow. So to try and save some of that, because the money, the insurance is capped at $250,000. And it's like, I don't know. And it might be something we need to look into, is if you could get extra insurance on your money.
But I don't think the money is gone. I don't think the money is gone. I think what I read was the federal government just seized control of the bank. So even though people were taking their money out or whatever, and the bank is collapsing, I don't think all the money is necessarily gone. It's just not. It's not in good hands.
Yeah, I don't think operating funds.
I don't think it's in good hands right now. So the federal government came in and took over ownership of the bank because they were doing a lot of stuff that was less than savory.
So right,
but they did lose. There is money lost out of that, and
but
so
you got to think
that's why the federal government stepped in, is to stop the purging.
But you got to think money is lost every day on the stock market, and that's a lot of the banks going to shoot dice with it. So when they try and shoot, we ain't worried about it because your money is safe with Wells Fargo or B of A, because we already know these players are going to back their money.
So it's almost like a Ponzi scheme.
Very much like a Ponzi scheme.
Like they got all this money in and they telling you, okay, I got it over here, I have it over here, but now when I need my money, I can't go get it. So you don't have no operating money. You just got funds out there that's possibly investments.
They only keep a certain amount of cash in the bank anyway. The banks don't keep that much cash liquid in the bank anyway, just for that very reason. So say somebody wants to go in, you're not finna go get into the bank and get $10 million out the bank. They don't keep that
Oprah can't go get all her money.
You can't go get all your money at one time. It's a system that they go through. They only are allowed to give you 10% of what you got in the bank. They just have to give you about 10% of what you have in the bank at any one point in time anyway.
So people thought Michael Jackson was stupid or wasn't financial savvy, right? When he was buying the Elephant Man bones, when he was buying the Beatles catalog, when he was buying all this stuff that was worth so much money, he was putting his money in things that was worth something that he can have and touch. Yeah. So when it come time when the market crash, I still have these things. When it finally come back, I can sell these things.
Yeah.
Tangible assets. Right. Not liquid money that you really can't go put in your hand and hold. It's just, I don't know. I've seen a lot and I've learned a lot about investing your money, but it's really intellectual property. What do you know up here? Because when all of the money is gone, what can you do? You got to have skills. You got to have skills. You got to be able to sell something. Can you go paint? Can you draw? Can you fix cars? Can you build airplanes? Can you make tools? It's about
Can you
having.
program robots?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Can you program robots? It's something can you shoot? Can you hunt? Can you
Right.
fish? Right?
Mhm.
When it's all said and done, do you have any survival skills?
Can you make bread?
Yeah.
Can you clean water?
Can you
You
sew?
know,
And
yes.
that's
Do
the
you?
thing. They took it all out of school. So how many of us can actually do that? When they took all
Um,
these courses. I mean, I can, but
well, that stuff was in
nowadays,
our schools. Yeah, yeah. The kids nowadays don't know
yeah,
what a needle look
it's
like.
not in there
But
anymore.
I haven't
So
taught my son or my daughter how to sew, but I definitely know how to sew. I learned how to do that at a young age. But that's something that my mom taught me, and that's a skill that I haven't passed down, and that's something that I'm responsible for.
I know we're supposed to be talking about the banks. That's funny you said that because my grandmother used to make some of the baddest quilts around. We still have one or two.
I got one right now. I
Well,
got one right
they
now.
take all the old pants, the old sheets, just anything that was
mhm.
around and cut squares out of it and sew it together into one of the most warmest quilts you'll have in the house.
Yeah, my
But
son
anyway,
still has mine that I made when I was like 13.
yeah. So you guys with this banking thing, what are you guys gonna do about your money in the bank?
For me, I haven't trusted banks since they seized one of my accounts like I don't know, maybe 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the only money I keep in there is bill money. Like I don't trust it, especially with that bank. They said that they had just gave out their bonuses, and the bonuses were 12,000 to $140,000.
Oh yeah, they knew something was up.
Like, why would you give bonuses like that?
They knew something was up. Hey, so yeah, to me, it's like they playing these games, right? But what are we gonna do as normal people, right, to kind of fight this and help with our situation? Me, honestly, precious metals. I'm definitely
Hmm.
going precious metals. Like I said, I don't know a lot about it, but I do know precious metals always last. I do know I need it at the smallest increments that I can get it, and it physically still is transferable, right? You don't want dust because it's gonna blow away, right? But at
Yeah.
some
Hmm.
point, I was reading a while back because this was my thing. Like, how can I beat this system at the shit they doing and still have wealth? I always thought about that every family should work hard for whatever cash they get, and then get you a print made, and then get gold coins made with your family faces on them. Right?
Yeah.
Just imagine every family had their own gold coins, your family face on them, right? And then that's how we traded money.
Hmm.
And we don't have to worry about the digital. We don't have to worry about the US dollar, the yen, the pound, whatever, right? We
Hmm.
trading gold again. Right? That's what it used to be. When you read The Richest Man in Babylon, he said in his purse he had silver and gold, and then that's what they traded with, right? I saw another quote the other day that said, if if it wasn't for money, we all would be rich. If we got rid of money, we all would be rich,
Yep.
Hmm.
right? Because we can go back to eating off the land, right? Like, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, we definitely got to get to thinking about, what we're doing with our money and who we're entrusting it to.
Yeah, this new currency they talking about, being able to tie our carbon footprint to it and all type of shit where we can't fly too much, we can't go certain places if we have too much carbon output, that you can't go certain places, you can't eat certain stuff, like it's gonna be crazy, man. So I'm wondering where we're going. I definitely, it's a wake-up call for me to make sure I get some farm land. That's the
Hmm.
Definitely.
biggest thing on my agenda right now, is some farm land, and getting into growing something. I'll never forget something that really hit me was we had a Veggie Man on after dark. I think we even interviewed him once, and he talked about how squash and zucchini just grow wild. He said it grows uncontrollable. That's what
Hmm.
I'm growing first. No, seriously, something that's
Hey.
healthy and that'll grow crazy, right? Like it don't need no maintenance. You can have this whole area over here. Go overpopulate this acre right here.
Yeah. And
right?
we can eat off the land until we ain't got no more food in us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that should be on our list to get us a piece of land and learn how to grow. It's sad, but we got to learn how to live together, right? Like families got to learn how to live together again, to where we can all be on 2-3 acres and make those acres survive to where we can survive off of them, right? Like we can't live in an apartment together, 2 people, right? Because we end up fighting, right? Like we got to learn to live together. Make this shit happen, because this money thing is going to go crazy. And I would say I wouldn't get scared of investing, because I'm a damn so invest in Roblox. Let that shit crash down to something crazy. I'm gonna own half of Roblox. Roblox gonna be like Shiba. I got thousands of shares.
Hundreds of thousands. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, before we close out, what y'all want to leave the people with?
Educate yourself on what you got to do for you and your family, whether it be money, health, wellness, whatever it is. Just educate yourself.
Yeah, I'd say definitely. I have to echo what Rhonda said. Educate yourself, but also find a skill or begin to really craft your skill, whatever that is, whether it's, and if you don't have one, consider tapping into technology. Consider tapping into nature, like we've shared about. Do you know how to grow squash or zucchini? You know, do you know how to grow the right things at the right seasons? Like even just investigating that. So that's what I would add.
Okay, for me, you know, when it comes down to this financial literacy, it's so important that we don't just learn it for ourselves, but we teach our kids as well. You find stuff, you get stuff that's tangible, and you get skills that are tangible that you can make a living off of. When we came up out of slavery, they said a lot of the slaves were way more profitable than their owners, because they had all of the tangible skills. They were blacksmiths, they were farmers, they knew how to sew, they had tangible skills, and we need to get back to that.
Yep, I would say make sure we're aware of what's going on. Watch, look, sit down with people, talk, analyze, and come up with good ideas, right? Because when we talk, I know the 4 of us, when we sit and talking, y'all don't know how many ideas y'all done put in my head. I be sitting there thinking about stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, we could do this. I could do this. And then I get to implementing and going like I fall off sometime, but over the last month, I think I'm about ready, and a lot of stuff got to change, right? Like we keep having all these goals, we keep having these dreams, these whys, and then that's all they are. We're not putting in the work to get to them, right? Like let's be aware and let's take advantage of what we need to take advantage of for us. Be selfish is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because selfishness equals self-sufficiency, right?
Yeah. Hey, you guys, we got problems, but we also have solutions. We out.
From the team at CRC Empire, we want to thank you for listening. To stay connected with us, like, share, and subscribe to the We Got Problems podcast. You can find us on social media platforms at Curtis Martin 247, at Rhonda Wrights Official, and at the_trash_vegan_. We got problems and we got solutions.